There is a planting window sitting open right now, in the heat of July, in the month that the garden center has essentially abandoned, rotating its displays toward fall decor and clearance seed packets, that contains 9 specific vegetables capable of generating some of the most valuable harvests of your entire growing year. Not your spring harvests, not your summer harvests. The harvests that arrive in September and October and November, when the farmers market tables around you are thinning out, when restaurant buyers are scrambling for fresh local product, when the premium prices the market pays for quality produce in the shoulder season are at their annual ceiling, and when the grower who planted in July is the only one with something worth selling. The seed companies are not running July campaigns. The garden center is not stocking its shelves for July planting. The mainstream gardening content has moved on to canning tutorials and harvest photos. And while all of that attention is pointed somewhere else entirely, a deliberate group of serious growers is putting these 9 vegetables in the ground and positioning themselves for the most profitable market window of the year. I have been doing this for over 50 years. Growing through every month the calendar offers, in every zone the continental United States presents. And I will tell you with complete confidence, the growers who build real, consistent income from small acreage almost universally treat July as a second planting season, not a gap between seasons. The vegetables I am about to show you are why. Stay until vegetable number 8. It is the one that will genuinely stop you. It grows in zones 3 through 10, it asks almost nothing from you after planting, and it commands fall market prices that most gardeners assume are only possible for exotic specialty crops. It is not exotic. You have walked past it in the grocery store 100 times without understanding what it is worth to the person who grew it locally in October. Drop your U.S. state or USDA hardiness zone in the comments right now. July planting is zone sensitive in ways that will affect your timing by 1 to 3 weeks in either direction. And I want every person watching this to leave with a specific, actionable planting date. Not a general suggestion, a date. Stay until the end. Because the last thing I tell you is not about a vegetable. It is about the decision that separates the gardeners who watch this and nod from the growers who go outside and plant. Let me be direct about something that the gardening industry's seasonal marketing calendar will never say out loud. The retail gardening world needs your purchasing behavior to be concentrated in spring. That concentration, the March seed rush, the April transplant buying, the May fertilizer surge, is the financial engine of the entire retail gardening supply chain. When that window closes, the industry moves on. It does not have a financial incentive to tell you that July is a legitimate, productive, income-generating planting window, because a July planting does not require a trip to the garden center. It requires seeds you can order for pennies, soil you already have, and knowledge that nobody is selling you. That knowledge is what I am giving you today. These 9 vegetables are selected specifically for July planting in the continental United States, for their ability to establish in summer heat, mature in fall cool, and arrive at market or table in the September through November window when local production scarcity drives prices to their seasonal peak. Every one of them has been grown, evaluated, and confirmed through 50 years of hands-on production experience. Every price I quote you is current market data, not projection. The July window is real. These 9 vegetables are the proof. Vegetable 1. Watermelon radish. Watermelon radish is the farmer's market crop that sells itself before you say a single word. Because when a customer slices one open at your table and sees that brilliant magenta-pink interior, ringed in white and green, the sale is already made. You are not selling a radish. You are selling a moment of genuine surprise. Fresh watermelon radishes sell at farmers markets for $3 to $6 per bunch, and at specialty grocers for $4 to $8 per pound. Farm-to-table restaurants use them as a plated garnish and salad component, paying $5 to $10 per pound wholesale for reliable local supply. A single 4x8 bed planted in July yields 40 to 70 roots at harvest in 60 to 70 days, putting your crop squarely in the September and October window, with roots reaching 2 to 4 inches in diameter and developing their most intense interior color only in cool fall conditions. A July planting is not just timed for the market window. It is timed for the color quality that makes the crop worth what it commands. Watermelon radish is a daikon-type radish that stores exceptionally well after harvest. Up to 4 weeks in cool, humid storage, meaning you are not racing to sell a perishable product. You have time to move it through multiple channels at full price. Direct sow in July, ½ inch deep, 2 inches apart, thinning to 4 to 6 inches. USDA zones 3 through 9. Full sun to partial shade. Consistent moisture. Uneven watering produces cracked, pithy roots that lose both their visual appeal and their market value in the same moment. Pro tip: do not harvest early. Watermelon radish develops its signature interior color, the deep magenta that makes it marketable, only as temperatures cool in fall. A root pulled in August heat will be pale and disappointing. A root pulled in October cool will stop people at 10 feet. Patience is the technique here. The calendar is doing the work for you if you leave it alone. Vegetable 2. Tatsoi. Tatsoi is the low-growing, dark green, spoon-leafed Asian green that high-end restaurants in every major American city are specifically requesting from their local farm contacts, and that almost nobody at the average farmer's market is producing in any meaningful quantity. Fresh tatsoi sells wholesale to restaurants for $7 to $12 per pound. At farmers markets in fall, baby tatsoi in a clamshell or quarter-pound bag commands $4 to $7 per unit. The full rosette, harvested whole at 8 to 10 inches in diameter and presented stem down in a bundle, sells for $3 to $5 per head and is one of the most visually striking greens on any fall market table. A 4x8 bed, planted in July and managed on a cut-and-come-again basis, produces 4 to 6 harvests through November in most zones. What makes tatsoi the ideal July planting is its cold performance. It is one of the hardiest salad greens in temperate horticulture, surviving temperatures down to 15 degrees Fahrenheit with minimal protection, and its flavor deepens and sweetens dramatically in cool fall conditions, producing the mild, slightly mustard-tinged profile that restaurant chefs specifically value over the sharper summer growth. A July planting lets summer heat do the germination work and lets fall cool do the flavor development work. The growing season itself is your most important technique. Direct sow or transplant in late July. USDA zones 3 through 9. Partial shade acceptable. Tatsoi is one of the few fall greens that tolerates and even prefers afternoon shade in zones 7 through 9 during its warm establishment phase. Space 6 inches apart for whole head harvest. Broadcast densely for cut-and-come-again baby leaf production. Pro tip, photograph your tatsoi rosettes before harvest and use those images when approaching restaurant buyers. The full tatsoi rosette is architecturally beautiful. Dark, glossy, symmetrical, dramatic, and a chef who sees the photo will want the product before they have tasted it. In specialty produce, visual identity is a pricing tool. Use it. Vegetable 3. Kohlrabi. Kohlrabi is the crop that stops farmers market customers in their tracks, because most of them have never seen one in real life. The alien spacecraft appearance of the swollen stem with its radiating leaf stalks reads as genuinely exotic, and exotic at a farmer's market table is a pricing lever that most growers completely underutilize. Fresh kohlrabi sells at farmers markets for $2 to $4 per bulb or $3 to $6 per bunch with tops attached. At specialty grocers, it retails for $3 to $5 per pound. A 50-row-foot planting of kohlrabi put in now yields 40 to 60 bulbs in 50 to 60 days. A September and October harvest that generates $80 to $360 from a single planting that costs almost nothing in seed or inputs. Kohlrabi has a mild, sweet, crisp flavor, described most simply as a cross between broccoli stem and apple, and it eats raw, roasted, or shaved into slaws with equal success. The flavor quality peaks when bulbs are harvested at 2 to 3 inches in diameter in cool fall weather. The purple skin varieties, Colibri, Rapid Star, add the visual distinctiveness that commands market premium over standard green types without any difference in production effort. Direct sow in July, half-inch deep, 2 inches apart, thinning to 6 inches. USDA zones 3 through 9, full sun, average well-drained soil, consistent moisture during bulb development. Drought stress produces woody, fibrous bulbs that cannot be marketed at premium prices. Pro tip, sell kohlrabi with the leaf tops attached and untrimmed. The full plant, bulb, leaf stalks, leaves, reads as fresh harvested and farm direct in a way that trimmed. Bare bulbs do not. The tops are edible and marketable as a cooking green in their own right. 2 products, 1 plant, 1 transaction. That is the framing your market table should be communicating. Vegetable 4. Chinese cabbage/Napa cabbage. Napa cabbage is the high-volume, high-demand fall crop that ethnic grocery markets, Korean food producers, and Asian restaurant supply buyers will purchase in quantities that no farmer's market table can absorb, making it one of the most strategically important wholesale crops available to the July gardener. Korean grocery stores move enormous volumes of Napa cabbage for kimchi production, particularly in October and November when the traditional kimchi-making season peaks across Korean-American communities nationwide. Wholesale Napa cabbage at this peak demand window commands $1.50 to $3 per pound for quality heads. Individual heads at maturity run 4 to 8 pounds. A 100-row-foot planting yields 60 to 100 heads, representing 360 to 800 pounds of product at a wholesale value of $540 to $2,400 from a single July direct sow planting. This is not farmers market math. This is wholesale volume math, and it is available to any grower with sufficient bed space and a relationship with a single Korean or Asian grocery buyer established before the harvest arrives. Napa cabbage planted in July matures in 70 to 85 days, hitting its harvest window in late September through October, precisely aligned with peak kimchi season demand. It wants cool temperatures for head formation and flavor development, which fall provides reliably in zones 3 through 8. Direct sow or transplant in mid-July. USDA zones 3 through 8. Full sun. Rich, consistently moist soil. Napa cabbage is a heavy feeder and rewards side dressing with compost at the point of head initiation, typically 4 weeks after transplant. Space 12 to 18 inches apart. Pro tip, call Korean grocery stores and Asian supermarkets in your area in August, before your crop is ready. Tell them you have locally grown Napa cabbage coming in October, and ask about their buying interest. These stores have standing wholesale relationships with distant distributors out of necessity. They cannot source locally because most local growers do not produce Napa cabbage at volume. Be the local option. The conversation is easier than you think, and the standing order it produces is worth more than any market table. 4 vegetables in, and you now have a magenta-centered radish that stops customers cold on visual impact alone, a restaurant-grade Asian green that chefs are specifically requesting from local farms, an alien-looking brassica that markets itself on appearance, and a wholesale volume crop with a built-in peak demand window in October. Hit that subscribe button right now. It is free. It is always going to be free. And this channel is here every single week for the grower who is done following the retail calendar and ready to follow the market one. Vegetable 5. Swiss chard. Swiss chard is the fall production workhorse that earns at every market channel simultaneously. Fresh cut bunches at the farmer's market, cooking green wholesale to restaurants, and CSA box filler that keeps subscribers renewing through November. From a single July planting that requires almost no inputs and almost no attention once established. Rainbow chard, the multicolored stem mix of red, yellow, orange, white, and pink, sells at farmers markets for $3 to $5 per bunch, and at specialty grocers for $4 to $7 per bunch. Restaurant buyers purchasing it as a cooking green pay $4 to $8 per pound wholesale. A 4x8 bed of rainbow chard planted now produces continuous cut-and-come-again harvests from September through hard freeze. In zones 7 through 9, that harvest window runs into December and January with minimal protection. Per bed seasonal yield across a full fall production window runs $150. Swiss chard is one of the most cold-tolerant leafy vegetables available to the fall gardener, surviving temperatures down to 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit without protection, and recovering from light freeze events that would end most other crops. Its visual appeal at the market table, those vivid jewel-toned stems, makes it one of the easiest sells in the fall produce category. Direct sow or transplant in July. USDA zones 3 through 10. Full sun to partial shade. Average soil. Consistent moisture. Harvest outer leaves at 8 to 10 inches, always leaving the central growing rosette intact for regrowth. A well-managed chard planting regrows to harvestable size every 10 to 14 days through the entire fall season. Pro tip, bundle rainbow chard by stem color for premium pricing. A bundle of all red stems, a bundle of all yellow stems, and a bundle of mixed colors sitting side by side on your market table are 3 different products from the same planting, and the monochromatic bundles command $1 to $2 premium per bunch from restaurant buyers who use them for color-specific plating. Sorting is the value add. It costs you 2 minutes per harvest. The pricing return compounds across every market week of a fall season. Vegetable 6. Bok choy is the fast-cycling fall crop that fills the gap between your longer season plantings and keeps cash moving through September, while your other July plantings are still sizing up. Because baby bok choy is harvestable in 30 days and full-size heads in 45 to 50, making it the shortest cash cycle on this entire list. Baby bok choy sells at farmers markets for $3 to $5 per bunch of 3 to 4 heads. At Asian grocery markets, it moves wholesale at $1.50 to $3 per pound in volume. Restaurant buyers purchasing it for stir-fry and braising applications pay $4 to $7 per pound for quality baby heads. A 4x8 bed succession planted every 2 weeks from July through August produces continuous fall harvest from early September through November, with total seasonal bed yields running $120 to $350 from a crop that costs almost nothing in seed and establishment inputs. Bok choy planted in July germinates in the summer warmth and then transitions into its production phase as temperatures moderate in September, improving in tenderness, sweetness, and overall quality with every degree the thermometer drops. The flavor of September bok choy and October bok choy is meaningfully superior to summer production, and buyers who have eaten it in season know the difference. Direct sow or transplant in July. USDA zones 3 through 9. Full sun to partial shade. Consistent moisture. Drought stress causes premature bolting that ends the crop before it produces marketable heads. Space baby types 4 to 6 inches apart. Full-size types 12 inches apart. Pro tip: approach Chinese and Vietnamese restaurants specifically for bok choy wholesale relationships. These restaurants use bok choy in volume, daily, not occasionally, and a local supply of consistently fresh, properly sized baby heads is a genuine competitive advantage for a chef trying to source quality. One restaurant account that takes 10 pounds per week is a standing $40 to $70 weekly check for the duration of your fall season. Build 2 of those relationships, and your bok choy planting is effectively pre-sold before it goes in the ground. Vegetable 7. Scarlet turnip/Tokyo turnip. Most gardeners know one turnip, the purple-topped white storage turnip of their grandparents' garden, boiled into submission, tolerated rather than enjoyed. The Scarlet and Tokyo turnip varieties are a completely different product for a completely different market, and the July gardener who understands that distinction has access to a premium pricing tier that the standard turnip never reaches. Tokyo turnips, small, white, mild-flavored Japanese types, closely related to Hakare, and Scarlet turnips, brilliant red-skinned, white-fleshed, visually arresting roots the size of a golf ball, sell at farmers markets for $3 to $6 per bunch at premium positioning. At specialty and natural food grocers, they retail for $4 to $8 per pound. The visual identity of a scarlet turnip, that deep crimson skin against the white interior, presented with its green top still attached, is a farmer's market table anchor that draws customers from across the aisle. At 35 to 45 days to maturity, these are among the fastest cycling crops on this list. A July direct sowing produces harvestable roots in mid to late August, with a second succession in mid-July hitting September. 2 successions from one July planting window, each cycling in under 6 weeks. Direct sow, half-inch deep, 2 inches apart, thinning to 3 to 4 inches. USDA zones 3 through 9. Full sun, consistent moisture throughout. These are small-rooted crops with a narrow harvest window at peak quality, and any moisture stress during root development pushes bitterness and woodiness that makes them unsellable at premium prices. Pro tip: sell these in mixed bunches alongside your watermelon radishes and kohlrabi as a specialty root sampler bundle. 3 to 4 roots each of 2 to 3 varieties, tied together with a simple paper band and priced at $6 to $10 per bundle. The bundle format creates a product with no direct price comparison at any other table, commands a premium over individual variety bunches, and introduces your customers to multiple crops in a single transaction. Mixed bundles build return customers faster than any single variety presentation. Vegetable 8. Winter squash, delicata game changer. Here is the one. The vegetable that will make you genuinely frustrated at every July you let pass without planting it. Because delicata squash planted now arrives at market in October as one of the most in-demand, highest value, fastest-selling specialty vegetables in the entire fall produce category. And almost nobody plants enough of it. Fresh delicata squash at farmers markets sells for $2 to $4 per pound, or $3 to $6 per individual squash, with average fruit weight running 1 to 2 pounds. A single productive delicata vine yields 5 to 10 fruits per plant. Plant 20 vines from a July sowing in a modest garden space, and you are harvesting 100 to 200 fruits in October, generating $300 to $1,200 from a single planting at mid-range pricing. But here is what makes delicata the game changer. It is not just the pricing. It is the combination of the pricing with the specific market positioning delicata occupies that no other squash can replicate. Delicata is the gateway squash, the one that customers who claim they do not like squash discover they actually love, because the flesh is sweet, tender, and edible skin-on, eliminating the peeling and wrestling that puts most people off hard winter squash entirely. Chefs roast it halved with butter and brown sugar in 15 minutes. Home cooks slice it into rings without peeling and put it in the oven with minimal effort. The eating experience is genuinely, categorically easier than butternut, acorn, or any other winter squash on the market. And that ease translates directly to repeat purchasing behavior that most farmers market crops never generate. Customers who buy a delicata in October come back for more. They send friends. They post photos. The crop markets itself through the experience of eating it in a way that requires nothing from you after the sale. July is your last responsible planting window for delicata across most of the continental United States. Delicata needs 80 to 100 days to maturity. A July 1st planting hits late September to early October in zones 5 through 7, precisely the opening of peak fall market demand. A July 15th planting in zones 7 through 9 hits mid-October, still well within the premium fall window. Plant after July 15th in zones 4 and 5 and the math does not work. Your fruit will not have time to mature before hard freeze ends the season. The window is open right now. It will not stay open. Direct sow or transplant in early to mid-July. USDA zones 4 through 9. Full sun, 8 hours minimum. Rich, well-drained soil with generous pre-plant compost incorporation. Space hills 6 to 8 feet apart. Delicata vines sprawl significantly less than most winter squash, making it manageable in smaller gardens. Consistent moisture through fruit set. Reduce irrigation as fruit approaches maturity to concentrate sugars and harden the skin for storage. Pro tip: cure your delicata harvest before you sell it. Freshly harvested delicata is good. Cured delicata, held at 80 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit with good air circulation for 1 to 2 weeks post-harvest, is exceptional. The curing process heals any skin wounds, concentrates the sugars further, and extends shelf life from 2 to 3 weeks to 2 to 3 months. Cured fruit gives you a crop that you can hold and release strategically across multiple market weeks, rather than selling everything in one post-harvest rush. That inventory control is a pricing tool. Use it. Drop a yes in the comments if delicata is already your best-selling fall crop, and drop a first time if this July is the first season you are planting it, because I want to know how many people are about to discover what October delicata does at a farmer's market table. 8 vegetables in. A magenta radish that markets on visual impact. A restaurant-requested Asian green peaking in fall flavor. An alien-looking brassica that commands exotic pricing for ordinary production effort. A wholesale volume crop with a built-in kimchi season demand window. Rainbow chard earning through hard freeze. Bok choy building restaurant relationships on a 30-day cycle. A scarlet root bundled into premium mixed presentations. And delicata squash, the gateway crop that sells itself through the experience of eating it and brings customers back week after week through October. If you are ready to treat July as a planting season, rather than a gap between seasons, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel is here every week laying out the specific, market-grounded production knowledge that builds real fall income from real July decisions. Vegetable 9 is the closer. It is the one that requires the least infrastructure, the least input cost, and the least production effort of anything on this list. And it sits at a fall market table as one of the most premium-priced specialty crops in the cool season category. It is the crop that makes experienced growers shake their heads at how long they waited to plant it. Stay with me. Vegetable 9. Claytonia/miner's lettuce. Claytonia is the cool season salad green that grows in conditions that end every other salad crop on your list. In near-freezing temperatures, in partial shade, in the lean, underperforming corners of your garden where nothing else produces reliably, and commands specialty salad pricing at every market channel it reaches. Fresh Claytonia sells at farmers markets for $6 to $12 per quarter-pound bag. At specialty grocers and natural food stores, it retails for $8 to $14 per quarter-pound clamshell. Restaurant buyers sourcing it for winter salad programs and microgreen presentations pay $10 to $16 per pound wholesale, making it one of the highest per-pound salad greens available to the small acreage fall grower. Its visual identity is unmistakable and unreplicable. Small, succulent, perfectly round leaves that in their mature form completely surround the delicate white flower, producing a presentation that no other salad green approaches in distinctiveness. Customers who discover it become loyal buyers. Chefs who plate with it do not switch back to standard mesclun. What makes Claytonia the ideal 9th crop in a July succession strategy is its specific timing requirement. It does not want July heat for germination. It wants the cooling temperatures of late July into August, soil temperatures below 70 degrees Fahrenheit, to germinate reliably. In zones 5 through 8, that window opens in late July to early August. In zones 3 and 4, direct sow now. In zones 8 and 9, wait until early August, when soil surface temperatures have moderated from peak summer levels. Once established, Claytonia grows through conditions that are simply not survivable for most other salad crops. It tolerates hard frost, it tolerates light snow, it produces in temperatures that would end your arugula, your spinach, and your tatsoi, extending your fresh salad green harvest window into November, December, and in zones 7 through 9 with minimal low tunnel protection into January and February. USDA zones 3 through 9. Partial to full shade acceptable, Claytonia is one of the only productive salad crops that genuinely prefers shade in warmer conditions, making it the solution for the north-facing beds, the spots under established trees, the underutilized corners that your other crops cannot reach. Direct sow broadcast style at the soil surface. Claytonia seed needs light for germination and should not be covered with soil. Mist to maintain surface moisture through the germination period. Pro tip: Position Claytonia as a premium winter salad green, not as a generic salad mix component, when approaching both market customers and restaurant buyers. The name, the story, Claytonia perfoliata, used by California gold rush miners as a vitamin C source during winter months, hence miner's lettuce, and the visual identity of the perfoliate leaf surrounding its flower are all marketing assets that justify and support a premium price point. The story is part of what you are selling. Tell it. Which of these 9 vegetables are you putting in the ground this week? Drop the one you are most excited about in the comments right now. And if you are in a zone where you are not sure the timing works for one of these crops, drop your zone and the crop name, and I will give you the specific window in the replies. If you are in your 50s or 60s, or beyond, you have spent enough summers looking at your garden in July thinking the season has run its course, thinking the real planting is behind you, and the real work now is harvesting what went in the ground in April and May. That thinking is costing you a full season of production, a full season of market income, a full season of the fall harvest that the growers building real income from small acreage treat as their most important months, not their wind-down months. You have earned the right to a growing season that does not stop when the garden center stops paying attention. That is not ambitious gardening. That is the specific, hard-won understanding of how the market calendar actually works, and what July planting actually produces for the grower who acts on it while the window is still open. Watermelon radishes stopping customers cold with a magenta interior in September. Tatsoi deepening in flavor with every cool October night. Kohlrabi marketing itself on alien spacecraft appearance to customers who have never seen one in real life. Napa cabbage building wholesale relationships with Korean grocery stores at the peak of kimchi season. Rainbow chard earning through hard freeze in colors that make every other fall table look dull. Bok choy cycling cash on a 30-day clock, while your longer crops are still sizing up. Scarlet turnips bundled into mixed variety presentations that command prices no single variety reaches alone. Delicata squash building repeat customers through the sheer experience of eating it. And Claytonia, the gold rush green that grows where nothing else will, produces when everything else has quit, and commands premium pricing that makes first-time growers do a double take. 9 decisions, 9 July plantings. A fall season that looks completely different from the one you would have had if you waited until next spring to think about any of this. The window is open right now, not next week, not after you finish watching one more video. Right now, today, this week. This channel is free. It is here every single week. It is built for the grower who is done letting the July window pass and ready to treat it as the second planting season it actually is. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. Drop your zone and your first July planting in the comments, and then go outside while the ground is still warm and the window is still open. I'll see you in the next one.